And this is breaking news just into us. The State Department tonight has ordered all non-emergency government staff out of Venezuela, advising other Americans in Venezuela to leave now, citing security concerns. There are no plans whatsoever to close the American embassy, however. This comes as Russian President Vladimir Putin today called Venezuela's Nicolas Maduro, expressing his support for the socialist leader of the failed nation. The Russian Foreign Ministry issuing statements also warning certain capitals against intervention in Venezuela, saying such, quote, reckless actions could lead to catastrophic consequences. Joining us tonight, Fox Business national security foreign policy analyst, Dr. Walid Phares. Walid, good to have you with us. Ariel Cohen, senior fellow at the Atlantic Council. Ariel, good to have you. Ariel, let's begin with you. Venezuela has two presidents in effect tonight, only one of them recognized by the United States. Where does this go?
Well, this is a real test for the Trump administration. We need to have all our ducks in a row and move decisively in order to ensure that the Maduro regime, the socialist Chavista regime of Venezuela that brought nothing but a catastrophe for Venezuelan people, is out. And all tools our national statecraft needs to be used by the Trump administration to accomplish that, because if we fail, the ones who will celebrate are the boys in Havana and in Moscow, the Putin regime and the post-Castro regime in Cuba.
Well, Juan Guaido is now recognized by the United States, thanks to President Trump doing so yesterday, as the interim president of Venezuela. You couldn't be much more decisive. You couldn't move much quicker. And I don't recall the previous administration or the one before that being quite as nimble as this president's administration.
Yes, but we also have tools to talk directly to the Venezuelan military and security forces. And unfortunately, we just heard today that the Minister of Defense of Venezuela declared his support, the support of the armed forces for Maduro, and that may lead to clashes, to more people killed. And I really hope and pray for the sake of the Venezuelan people that suffered famine, disease, and impoverishment by this government, that this government will be gone, and gone soon.
It was a brutal and murderous regime as well, Ariel. It was
absolutely.
This is hardly just an exercise in social improvement. This is, frankly, an extraordinary crisis, and I have to say, I can't imagine, Walid, any administration moving as fast as this. Your thoughts about Ariel's concerns and where the Trump administration is?
His concerns, Dr. Cohen's concerns, are very true. Your question is very important. Let me try to describe as precisely as I can what are the facts on the ground. This is not a meddling in Venezuela's affairs. This is a revolution. We've seen it in the videos. Millions of Venezuelans from all political parties rising against a regime that is backed already, not just by Russia and Cuba, but by Iran. Now, what have to happen is that the United States will coalesce the largest group of nations. And in addition to the US and Canada, you have the European Union, the one we criticize all the time, now on board against Maduro. You have the Organization of American States, which represents the whole hemisphere, also in line. So we have an international coalition. We need to take it to the Security Council. We know that there is a veto by the Russians, but
the United States has requested an emergency meeting of the Security Council, Walid, in this business about a coalition here. A coalition, is important, I suppose, but the actions of the United States are determinant here. And you and I, Ariel, we all know that. And the administration has measured its time for action, and that action is now. You're not suggesting, Ariel, when you raise these concerns, that the administration should not have acted, are you?
No, absolutely not. But I'm saying that, as you pointed out, the Obama administration, and frankly the Trump administration, did not prepare the alternative forces inside Venezuela, including arming and equipping the forces that may be needed to topple the regime. This is an armed nasty regime trained by the Cubans. It's Marxist, and it's as devastating as a nuclear bomb.
When you say as devastating as a nuclear bomb, what are you suggesting?
I'm suggesting that Venezuela used to be one of the richest, if not the richest, countries in Latin America. It was pumping above 2.5 million barrels.
Over 3 million barrels.
Okay, historically. But now it's all the way down to under 1 million barrels a day. We're still buying some of this oil, unfortunately. It's heavy crude. We have plenty of heavy crude in Canada, and we stopped. We stopped construction of the Keystone XL pipeline, which is really stupid. Instead of buying Venezuelan oil.
The Obama administration
and
did.
now it's tied up in courts.
Yes, by Obama judges.
Okay. But what,
I just
what
like
I'm
to keep the record clear.
Okay. But what I'm saying is that there's no reason for an American taxpayer or American consumer to support a Marxist regime in Caracas, and we need to use all the tools we have to topple that regime.
Ariel, thank you very much for being with us. Walid, thank you. I'm sorry we're out of time and well over time. Thank you both.